Okay, a wonderful location in the Highlands of Scotland today, and this is what we're going to have a look at. Look at this. This is a real beastie. A 10th scale crawler, very similar actually in design to one I reviewed a little while ago, and this is only my second crawler, so I've got nothing else to compare it to. I'm actually in the same location that I did the other one in as well, but obviously it's not really a fair comparison because this is going to be absolutely snowy. The rocks are really almost ice on top of them and everything, but it'll be a challenge for it, and it's damn good fun. Now, as I pick that up, you might notice it's sort of deflecting like mad on the actual bodywork itself. That's because this is actually a rear a spare wheel that's actually usable, so you just simply undo here and then just pop the whole thing off, and then you're good to go with the spare tyre, spare wheel actually, so that's really cool. The wheels are held on with just a single nut. Now, just from memory, I think the other one had 5 screws that were holding it on. Not that that really makes much effect as far as I'm concerned, but I'm just going to try and point out some of the differences. I'm not going to spend long going through it because actually blinking cold out here, as you can probably imagine, and I'll do the specs and everything, and actually I'll dig the other one out and then we can compare them up and see what they're like. I know for a fact this was about 30 quid cheaper than the other one, so if they do the same job for me, I'd save the 30 quid, get another battery. So talking about the battery, it's 2500 milliamp hour. It's a weird sort of setup of the way it's held in the battery bay area, because it doesn't really, it doesn't sit in either way, it just sits at a bit of an angle really, about sort of 15 degrees over, and that's how it's strapped in. But it's not going to go anywhere, we're not bashing around or anything, we're not at speed anyway, but it definitely will not fit in that way, and it's not sort of a snug fit that way, so it's obviously just the way they designed it. NIMH battery pack, as you can see, but they say they're using the LiPo technology as well in it. Quite how that works, I'm not too sure. That's what they say on the paperwork. So all I'm interested in is, does it give me a good run time, and does it give me enough power to actually play around with it? And I would think it would. Now, the thing I like about this is, I don't expect the camera, the mic will pick it up, is it actually oil-filled shocks. They're really nice, really well put together, and we've got a metal C-frame running through it. And the other thing on this one is it's actually adjustable, so you can actually undo these and actually move it further apart. We've got aluminium where it should be aluminium, I would say, and everything else is sort of plastic. Well, I imagine this is a nylon, the cover here, and this is flexible as well. As you can see, it's telescopic, so it's really, I really like it. It's a really cool piece of kit. Looking at it closely, they've actually, these are nylon nuts in here, I'm pretty sure, but I think they've actually put seal in as well, judging by the looks of it, the way they've sort of popped out, which is really nice. Looks really nice and assembled. I did run a little Allen key around it just to make sure everything was up tight, and it certainly seems it, so I think it's well done. The tyres are squidgy. I like to say it's only my second crawl, so I'm not totally familiar. These are totally different to your tyres on your other cars, obviously, and they look a real sort of strong, aggressive actual grip on them as well. They say it's a professional grade modified 550 motor. I'm not too sure exactly in what way it's been modified. They don't specify that, but I think we're going to have more than enough grunt there. Everything is waterproof as well, and hopefully I'll get it down in the water somewhere here or somewhere around the corner. There's a nice little spot as well, so I will try and get it in the water if I can, but honestly I'm so cold. Never mind, that's the reviewing fun bit, isn't it? So there's no LEDs on it at all, and from what I could see, there isn't an on-off switch either, so it's just on when you plug it in, sort of thing. But all in all, I think it's a really nice, feels a really nice solid construction, which that's exactly what you want from your crawler. You've got a basic style 2.4 gigahertz transmitter, and you've got dual rates actually, which is really nice, so on the steering and on the actual throttle as well, so that's good. I did do a quick test at home, just literally fired it up to make sure it went back and forwards and left and right, and it does, so the switches are all set in the correct way. Nice thing is, if you're a right-handed person like I am, then it's set there for you. If you want to swap it to left-handed, just simply slide this out, push that over, and then now we've got a left-handed operation as well, so quite a nice little touch. I've seen it on quite a few of other ones. This is sort of foam around it. It's not the softest that I've come across, but it's certainly not going to slip out your hands, and we're not doing anything at drastic speed or anything with a crawler, certainly. You've got your rates adjuster here as well, from 70-30 to 50-50, but I'm going to leave it in the 70-30 position there. And it does take 4 AA batteries. Don't even know if I can get that out. Yes, again. The plastic is so cold. I've just been out for a few minutes and actually really everything's sort of freezing down. I'm going to pop the bodywork on in a second. The clips are actually a little bit different. They're the same metal clips that we've had for donkey's years on RC cars, as you can see. But what they've got is a little plastic tab there. And I know there's probably guys saying, yeah, they've been out for ages. I haven't got any on my models. And I just think it's really nice, especially when I get freezing cold hands, which I do in the winter up here. Trying to get them out sometimes is a bit of a pain. So actually having that is brilliant. The other thing I've done is just use another one to actually hook inside and then pull it out. But I just think that's a really nice little touch there. Okay, it's auto bind system, so literally just turn on the transmitter, then just plug in the car and we're off and we're away, no problem at all. Okay, going to run a load of footage for you so you can see exactly what I put this through, and I put it through loads and loads. Now there's headcam footage there, which it doesn't really work with crawlers because you can't really see what it's going over the rock. So took a couple of red squirrels from the garden, gave them a couple of camera packs, and they went out and did a great job, I think. They can do the low camera angles, and there's even one bought himself a little snorkel and everything, so he can do a bit of the sub-aqua stuff as well. So you see this thing fighting against the waterfall, and it does actually run back up against it, which was really impressive. After it got completely soaked several times, no issues whatsoever. The waterproofing on it is absolutely excellent, no problems there at all. We've got the usual scratches and bumps on things where it's obviously, you know, really struggled against the rocks and bounced into them, and it's just superficial damage. There's no actual damage on it at all. The couplings have all held up well. I haven't had a single issue with this thing, and it was really good fun. The only thing I would say about it is the tyres are not as good as my other crawler. This is the 86100, and the tyres are definitely better on this than this. They've just got a little bit extra grip, and you could probably even get better, but to be honest, I tend to review them as they come. Having said that, this never really let me down, but I might just swap the tyres over at some stage, the wheels over at some stage, and just have a little go with it and just see whether there is a major difference. They're fine, but I think having had this one now for a while, I think these definitely outshine these without a doubt. That would be the only thing I would be looking at changing, and to be honest, I would run it and see how you get on and see whether it fails at places to see whether or not you need to change it or not. Transmitter worked really well, and no issues with that at all. You're not going to run this thing at a huge range away from you, because why would you? It's really enjoyable to be up close to it and actually see what it's doing with the work and everything. The battery lasted, well, to be honest, I think I got about 30 odd minutes out of it. I know that sounds ridiculous, but don't forget I'm going very slow for the filming. There's bits of gaps and everything, but after I chopped up all the videos, it really was, well, way over 20 minutes, I think. And they give 15 minutes runtime on it, but I mean, anything above 15 minutes would be an extra bonus. But honestly, with the slow moving stuff that I was doing, I did get a really extended runtime. Okay, you get a Toolkit with it, which actually has some spare body clips in it as well, but not the posh ones, not the premium ones with the little tags on. They get you back down to the basics then. You've got 3 Allen keys in there, you've got a little hex wrench, socket wrench, sorry, there as well, and a little spanner as well, so you can strip the whole thing down. You get an adjustable tow bar. I haven't done anything with that, I've got no reason, I can't think of anything that I'd want to tow with it, to be honest, but you do get that fits in the back there, and it is adjustable. And you actually get an on-off switch, which I didn't bother putting on. I'm not sure it's fully waterproof, to be honest. It doesn't look it, and to be honest, I just didn't have any need for it, and if I don't have a need for things, I can't see any sense in just putting them on for the sake of it. Same with the tow bar as well. Charging the battery is a mains adapter, simply plug that in and you're going to take about 3 hours to charge it up. There is other options available. I've done a full review on using the hobby grade one here, the IMAX B6. I'll put a link down in the description, so you could charge it up quicker if you wanted to. Let me show you how far this thing can move with the actual twist and everything on it. So I'm just going to keep lifting this one up until this one leaves the ground. It's the usual test I've sort of done with my other one, and we're getting up to about there, and it's just going there. So just about there. So I can get my hand clearly under there, and I measured this out. It's about 120 millimeters, 110, 120 millimeters, which is pretty impressive. That is pretty good. Okay, so comparing them up now, bear in mind I own 2 crawlers, these are the 2, and I hadn't come across them until I got this one, so I'm going to just point out the obvious things. There is a little bit more metalwork on this one than there is on this one. This coupling for a start is metal, and this one here is this sort of nylon plastic. So eventually you could argue this might well get worn and fall apart, but everything wears eventually. You could actually smash this hard enough that you buckle it. So, you know, there's 6 1/2 dozen of the others. I would argue that, and from my opinion only, that the shocks are better on the cheaper model than they are on the more expensive one. I would say the tyres are better on this one than this one. So there's a real compromise between the two. Personally, if it was my dosh, I would buy buying this one, and then if I needed to do any mods later on after I'd had a few runs with it, the extra 30 quid that I'm saving on this one, I would, you know, could pay for the extra bits on here. Both of them are very capable. Remo Hobby are usually pretty good with their instructions, so there's no letdown here. These are all in Chinese and in English as well, and it runs through all the functions on your transmitter. You've then got an actual one that runs through the assembly of the car and everything, and also what you get in the kit as well. So like I say, really well done. Exploded views with actual reference numbers on it as well, parts numbers, which is really good. So if you need any spares and everything, hopefully you'll be able to get them. And then they've got a safety warning one as per normal sort of thing. Get loads of paperwork with it as well. And then the instruction manual actually isn't really an instruction manual. It's just a coloured photos of all the spare parts and everything, which I think is really nice. If you're new to it and you don't know what something's called, you've actually got the description and also the part number as well. So well done, Remo Hobby. Now, I kid you not, on the box, the manufacturer's made a real fuss about an onboard storage area that's usable. Now, I'd looked around the truck and I couldn't find it for a while. Then I spotted this little devil at the back here. You just simply prop this off, and apparently this is a usable storage area. Now, what executive in their office thought, this will be a good selling technique for this car? I have no idea at all. Let me just show you how big it is. The little tiny wrench fits in there, which is fine. But the spanner doesn't. So, and it's literally, I suppose if you severed your thumb off and you needed to transport it home, not particularly fast, then you could actually pop that in there, but literally that's it. But I just thought I'd point it out, because obviously Remo Hobby think this is an actual selling point. I do hope you enjoyed that one. I've certainly enjoyed making it and sharing it with you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.